Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do the video on my son having a speech delay. It's hard to say how you want to present that because you don't want to say suffering from, you don't really want to say diagnosed from. I mean, I guess you could say that, whatever, but you know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard to, I don't know. Anyway, when I posted the being a mom video, I had a few comments from people that would really like to hear my experience with that and whether or not there's people that I said that I would probably do this anyway because I want to be able to help people that maybe are going through this or know someone that is and can help them potentially too. Anyway, I did get some requests for it, and so I'm going to do it. My son is now 5, and he still receives speech therapy. He still goes. We're trying to kind of see if we can get away with, not even get away with, but you know what I mean, like just see how he does with pulling it back a little bit. Like he used to go once a week, and we're trying now once every other week, and it's totally going fine, but it's still one of those, we want to do what's best. So this is kind of one of those, let's try this and let's see. And we can always go back if we think that's if that's what we think is going to work best. Anyway, with that said though, he is completely in a different place than where this all began. There are still struggles. There are still sometimes comprehension issues, but not necessarily that he cannot comprehend something. But depending on how it is told to him or asked of him, it can be there still. He may not get it still, and you have to just reword it a different way, and then he gets it, So it's working with that. When he hit a year old, my understanding is the rule of thumb is basically by a year old, they should have a couple words of one-word words. Mama, mom, dad. My kids was cow. He liked cows. Who doesn't? But he had that, and by age, again, my understanding, by age 2, they should have like 2-word combinations. So I like, you like, we like, whatever it is. And maybe a little more, a little less sometimes too, but that's just kind of the rule of thumb. And then by age 3, it should be 3-word combinations, kind of like that. You kind of go that way. And then once they hit, I think 4 or 5, it's supposed to be, oh, they take off now. I don't know. But by age 1, he had a couple, nothing super clear. But at that point too, you totally just go, well, yeah, it's just not clear yet. That's all, Then by age 2, he definitely did not have combo together. He really didn't. And he had a lot more words, definitely, but nothing, I don't know. It was still not like most kids will say, and it was kind of one of those, well, he's just behind on that, but it'll catch up. We kind of maybe were in denial about it a little bit, but I think it was just, you also can look at it and it can happen for kids where, it's not so much a issue. It is just that they're a little behind and then one day it clicks, and that's all there is to it. But sometimes it isn't as simple as that. Bottom line is, by the time he hit 3 years old, and he went to his 3-year-old doctor's appointment, wellness visit type thing, we were told, it's something we should look into for speech therapy. Jumping to now and looking back at that time, technically we were a little late on this show, if you will. If you can get your kid started in that kind of service as soon as possible, if there is an issue there, highly recommended. And I totally get it now. I don't think we were doomed based on the fact that he technically did not start till he was about 3.5. But it'd be interesting to know in a way, if we did start a year prior even, would we be in a different place even now too, or a year ahead too? Who's to say? Who knows? But the understanding is early intervention is the best that you can do. But was I ready at that point when he was that age? No. it is what it is. I did the best I could with what I knew and what I felt, and that's why it took till he was older. Anyway, just saying, don't feel like because you didn't do it at that pivotal age point that you just have to give up now. Not at all. Not at all. You weren't ready then, or you weren't sure then. Either way, you're only human, you know? You can't beat yourself up over that at all. And what you can do is when you know, and you'll know in your gut that something's off, that's when you run with it and just do it. And it's not that scary. It really isn't. It just comes off scary. I remember just thinking, well, what are they going to do to him and what are they going to test him with? You have like this vision in your head of what this is going to be, and it's so not that. At least in our experience, it really isn't at all. Anyway, look into it and you'll realize it's not that bad. It's not that scary. With that, having said that, we did not go through, so I can't even speak to it too much because I don't have an experience with it, but we did not go through the state for services that you can do, or through your school districts, which you can do. We didn't do that. We went private. And I mean, to this day, the place, that's where he's still at. We still go to private speech therapy. And his therapist is the first person that came into our lives as a, we'll say, I don't even want to say medical, because that's not really what she's not a doctor, but first person of that stature to come into our lives and just make us feel so comfortable and so like friends and family. Like, it was just such a great feeling, a great vibe, and it was needed because we were so unsure of, is this what we want to do? It was scary. It was scary. And so that woman is amazing and has been and still is amazing. And even with issues we might be dealing with now and stuff, like, she is just always so helpful if we need it. And it's great. Point is, in my experience, private speech therapists are a lot different than the assigned therapist that you can get through districts and states and all that. But you know, at the same time, anything is better than nothing, of course. But if you're not pleased with what you are receiving now, if you are going through this and it's not going well, or it's not going to what you thought it would be, and you're just not getting what you thought out of it, keep looking. You don't have to go a certain way, you know? Yeah, it's not cheap. That's the truth. It's not cheap. Private services of anything is not cheap, but it's worth it. And that it's kind of as simple as that. It's worth it. If we have to scrape by, that's what we'll do. If we can't buy this that month because of it, then that's what we'll do. And it's kind of that simple. Don't come down on yourself over like, well, we just can't afford it, and I wish I could do this and this and this. No, it's just kind of look at it as it is what it is, you know? And it's okay. I don't care what it costs because it works. And it's working for all of us as a family even. And so there it is, you know? Anyway, just saying, if you're not happy with where you're at, regardless of even if you are with someone private or not, just keep looking. There's going to be someone that's going to come into your life in that practice that is going to turn it around for you. Not even necessarily your kid. You are going to feel, I'm in the right place. And as soon as you feel that, stay. You know? Stay there. Keep in mind though, no matter how great someone is and or not, you know, this is a very, very slow process. Very slow. And I mean, you have to think about it. It's just not something for one reason or another that comes very natural for this human, this little person. It's just not there like it is so easily there for us, if you want to look at it that way. So try hard, not if you are going through it, to not get discouraged, because it's slow. It is a slow process, and it's a lot of work on everyone's end. And sometimes you feel like, but we've been working on it, and it's just, why isn't it clicking? But it will. It will, and it's going to be a different time for everyone, and it might be a different way that it clicks for everyone. But when it does, it works, and it's so amazing. And that's what I even said in the video of being a mom. Like, that's like the best part. That's what makes me melt, is when he just gets it. He gets it. And it's cool. I remember I want to say we had been really struggling when he was, again, like 3.5, with simple yes or no questions to him. Do you want to eat this? There was nothing. Like, he just did not get it, like, to say yes or no. And I remember telling his speech therapist that we had been seeing for less than a month at that point. I was like, I really just wish he could at least do this. And one session, and he was doing it. And he got it. It wasn't just saying the word yes or no. It was actually making sense for him to say it when he said it, And I'm like, okay, so, great. It was so just like crazy. It took one time. And she just told us techniques on how to do that too with him. I could go over those kinds of things, but again, every kid's going to be so different anyway, that's something for, you and your therapist, I think, to talk about for your kids' needs. I'm not trying to hold out. It's just, it might be different, but, it was crazy. It was crazy. And, he's the beautiful part about it is that he has not gone backwards. And, sometimes it can be, a speech delay and things of that nature could be maybe like a warning sign or a precursor to something bigger, whether it be autism, whether it be anything out there that we have out there now, something to maybe look at eventually, because it is a red flag for that. But as long as your kid's progressing, even if it's slow, then that's great. That's okay. That works. That's good. That's something you like celebrate. It is. And the great part too, though, having said that, even though I don't necessarily have experience with that part of it, if my son regressed and if my son turned out to be diagnosed as autistic, he would still be in the right place, because that's what she also, our speech therapist, deals with too. And, works with too. I shouldn't even say deals with, works with. And so that was a good feeling too. So she knows that. So again, why I say private is the way we went and the way we will continue to go is you're working with someone that is prepared for certain things that may happen with your kid potentially, and she knows how to deal with that. She knows how to work with that. Anyway, point is, even if your child starts showing signs of that or not doing as well at a speed that they should be, whatever it is, your therapist should be able to help you with that too, and amend what needs to happen for that person, what kind of therapy that person needs to get, Yeah, we love her. Like, she has just been amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's hard. Looking back, it's hard. I remember feeling very just, what did I do wrong, and why do we have to go through this, and why does he have to do it and go through it, and all that, the woe is me even attitude about it all. And I wouldn't say I was ever embarrassed, but I was bummed, if that makes sense. Like, he he never did well in big groups, and he didn't do well with loud noises and so much going on, and you have all these kids running around and they're just having the times of their lives, and like mine just doesn't do that. And at that time, and that was hard. It just, you know, that kind of came with its own thing too, of like not really even wanting to leave your home because you just didn't want to deal with it. But that's not the answer either. But again, we're only human, and if you stay inside all day, one day, that's okay. You know, don't beat yourself up over something that you can change, but maybe you just didn't change it today. You know, he's so smart. And I feel, this is just my opinion maybe, but I feel that kids that don't express themselves as well as others, or on that timeline of when they're supposed to, I really, really feel that they're actually absorbing so much more than we even give them credit for, because they're not saying it, but I feel like they're taking it all in. And one day it's just gonna all come out, and it's gonna scare the crap out of me, and it's gonna be that just, wow, you really did listen that whole time, you know, like you got. I just think they're little sponges. I mean, all kids are, but I don't know. I feel like just because it may not be coming out doesn't mean it's not going in. And because I really feel it is. And there's still, to this day, being 5 years old for him now, he still will say words sometimes that I'm like, huh? Like, where did that even come from? Like, it's crazy. I don't know. It's just, they listen. They still listen. And even if the comprehension part isn't there perfectly, or sometimes it always seems to, it's like the really simple things that it's like over their head, right? And then it's more complex things. You're like, how did you even I didn't even understand that. And they just get it. It's crazy. It's so crazy. You know, flash forward to now, he still struggles with expressing himself properly, or when he gets mad or he doesn't understand something, his initial reaction is to just kind of throw a fit about it. I'm not talking like a meltdown. It's more of just frustration and, you know, that kind of thing, versus just saying, I don't get it. You could just say that instead, you know, but they just get so mad. But I get it, you know, I do get it, that it's just, it must be so frustrating to know exactly what you want, how you want it, when you want it, and you can't get it out, you know? It just doesn't come out. But so that is still definitely a struggle for us, but it's still so much better than it ever was, and it continues to be better. And that's, you know, we work with it. Of course, we have an easier time than other people that are like strangers to him. They don't know necessarily what works and doesn't work for him. And so he started kindergarten this year, and that's been a big adjustment. And we're still kind of going through that right now of, you know, what's going to be best for him, like the environment wise and stuff. Anyway, again, that's going to be its whole other thing too. But point is, I get that just because I know how to understand him and just because I know how to get through to him doesn't mean that the world does. I get it. I totally get it. So I don't, you know, hold that against anyone that says, you know, he's behind here or whatever, because to what their standards are, he is. But to me, I see the big picture of where he was and where he is now. So it's just, you know, just dealing with that right now. But it's okay. And we'll see. We'll see. I just thought it would be helpful to share that it can get better. And even if there's steps backwards, if you're in good hands of a trained professional, you're in good hands, and they will work with that too. And it gets better. It just gets better. No matter what, it gets better. And it's so worth it, 100%. just do it as soon as you can, or at least look into it as soon as you can if you feel this is something your kid's going to need, because I totally understand not feeling comfortable about the whole idea of it, but that's just because of not understanding it, which that was me. And it's a really good thing. It really is. Again, only can speak though to going privately, you know. Anyway, I hope this was insightful for some of you. If it's something that you know someone that's going through it, or you personally are going through it, I'm open to any questions you might have on it. I am not a pro with it, but I can just tell you, you know, give you my feedback from what I've learned from it. Yeah, but I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys have all been so great to me, and I truly appreciate it. And I will see you guys very, very soon.